broadly, where all topics are on the table, nothing is off limits.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm good,
You're
good,
looking
good.
glowy.
I'm always glowing, aren't I? I like to shine. I like to
Mm-hmm.
sparkle. That should be my
There
middle
you go.
name. Sparkle.
Yes. Jackie Sparkle Toes.
Sparkle fingers.
What? What was that?
Oh my God. Sparkle toes. Anyway.
Sparkle Toes. Okay.
So partner, what's our big topic this week?
Yeah, we have got to address the America's Next Top Model documentary.
Okay.
That was on our homework for this week, was to watch that documentary. And I know I binged it. It's only 3 episodes, but I binged it.
Yeah, I binged it as well. And it was quite interesting.
It was
Did you watch it back in the day? Like, I think 20 years ago, believe it or not.
I was thinking about that because I watched it periodically, but I definitely was not one of the fans that every week waited for the new show to
Yeah.
air, that kind of thing. I think I watched maybe older episodes after the fact, and I caught it here and there. And even some of the episodes they highlighted in the documentary, I remember seeing them and not thinking at the time how horribly inappropriate that may have been, right? But now, I mean, before I jump in, what were kind of your big takeaways from the documentary, and why do you think it's so shocking or worth watching, I should say?
So takeaways, no disrespect to Tyra Banks, but she comes off as just a bitch. Doesn't seem to care, takes no responsibility for anything. I was quite shocked because it was almost, she was very smug, I felt like. There was never an apology. So that was my biggest takeaway from that. And I will say that behind the scenes, some of the stuff was shocking. And it was 25 years ago, to someone's point, but nevertheless, some of it was just inappropriate. I would say that that's the inappropriate of the behind the scenes and Tyra Banks behavior. How about you?
Yeah, I think obviously it is not a show that has aged well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
looking at some of the outtakes from the episodes and some of the ways that they portrayed the models and what they had them do absolutely would not fly in today's world, or even from 5 years ago, right? 5-10 years
Absolutely.
ago. But all that aside, because I think there's a lot of shows like that. I mean, hell, look at, the Flintstones or other things where it's just not appropriate necessarily anymore to reflect people in that way. But I think what shocked me the most was more the psychological warfare that was going on behind the scenes. The fact that they knew that one of the models' moms was, committed suicide with a shotgun, and yet specifically chose her to be the shotgun victim in said model.
She didn't commit suicide.
Well, regardless, that basically utilizing the trauma that she may have felt and wanting to exploit that. That to me was what was so shocking. And it wasn't just the one time. It was
Exactly.
every episode. It was yet another unveiling of some deep traumatic thing that they're exploiting just for ratings or for a push. And then the one with the girl who clearly hooked up with somebody when she was overserved, and that they videotaped it and then exploited that later. Like that was just bad. I mean, in my mind. I mean, granted, it's salacious television, but it's just unfortunate. And then on top of that, to have her response be so not empathetic in any way, shape, or form, to your point, like came off a little smug, a little, hands off. That wasn't my department. It's like, it was your show. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I'm Tyra and amazing because I created this show, and then say, oh, but all the decisions about the show weren't up to me. It was up to somebody else.
Right.
Like, just
Exactly.
that's the unfortunate, but it's definitely worth watching, especially since they're talking about revamping it. And
They
I don't know if I would
them.
watch it.
I wouldn't. Well, I didn't watch it then. I think we were above the age group, and I was never going to be a model. So I feel like I'm watching this, hoping that let me get some tips because, I'm going to be a model. I knew my reality, fortunately.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. They knew that supposedly that this really wasn't going to open doors, right? That was one of the comments that one of the girls said, that Tyra knew that this was not going to open doors, right? So you have 23 seasons knowing that it's not going to help anybody. So it's really just a bunch of bullshit. And at the end of the day, it truly was just for money. There was no intent to help anybody, because at the beginning she wanted to help, but no intent to help if you knew this wasn't going to get any. everywhere. And
It
I
almost,
remember
like, black labeled them in a way, at least from what they were describing, is that the agency that represented them never sent them out on casting calls or anything, 'cause they were sort of separated, which is, like you said, it's kind of unfortunate. And to be honest, I feel like they could sue for false advertising. I mean, it's like, if you, quote, unquote, "win a prize," but yet you don't get that prize, you can sue that company for that. And to me, if you're not getting the proper representation as promised, I don't know, could be
they
something.
got contracts, they got what they were
Mhm.
promised, and it could catapult you too. So I think that's where they get away with it because it could have, but it didn't. And who's to say who's to really blame? But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it was all about ratings. It was all about making money, not about these young girls who really thought that they would become models someday. And I remember, 2 years into it, I always wondered, did anybody become famous from that? And I couldn't
I don't
find
think so.
anybody that became famous, but somebody did, Winnie Harlow, but so she's famous, really famous. But at the end of the day, I just think I really felt they were taken advantage of in so many different ways. And you had these girls that came from really, really tough backgrounds. Number one, that made better
Mhm.
television, exploiting that, but they needed an out. Unfortunately, like Shandy, she's still working at Walgreens. She
Yeah.
had this opportunity and they really ruined that for her. Obviously, she's the one that decided to drink and have sex with some random guy, but they didn't add help with that. And the fact that they're revamping it is quite scary.
And I don't know if the public will accept that after this documentary. Like, I'm not sure they can revamp it and have the same support that they did back in the day when it initially launched. But the other thing, and you mentioned it, but I think what kind of disappointed me, if for the lack of a better word around it, is to hear how Tyra talked about the show and what she wanted the show to be. It wasn't just an inside look at becoming a top model, but it was like she wanted to help these girls. She wanted
Right.
to change sort of the thought behind models as being these vapid creatures that could do nothing but be a pretty face. But yet, all she did time and time again, and what every episode did was just perpetuate the stereotype of you got to be skinnier, or, all these things that essentially I was hoping that she would have used that platform to change that behavior, to embrace the plus size model, to embrace the split. The fact that she's using an excuse of agents are telling me she'll never get work because she has a split in her teeth. It's like, well, but you're Tyra Banks. Like, can you not help change what being a model looks like? That's your whole prop.
Purpose of the show. Yeah, it was her purpose of the show, and Madonna was out by this point. She had a gap tooth, and Lauren Hutton was around since, what, the '70s? So that's really a bullshit excuse. It's more
It
drama for
is.
television.
Well, and she embraced the gap 2 seasons later or something like that, and so it just shows that she was just a puppet in all of it. Like, she never did what she kinda set out to do. She just sort of went along with status quo and made a lot of money out of it, and now is crying, "Oh, well, it wasn't my fault that we crossed over some lines." It was just very disappointing, I guess. I kind of expected her to be a little bit more badass about it
Yeah,
and wanting to
I agree.
change
I
it.
was
She didn't. Yeah.
very disappointed in how she came across and behaved, and there have been rumors of her diva-ness before. I just didn't really pay attention because I'm not a fan. I'm very indifferent to her. But she didn't even
Mhm.
go see her friend in the hospital, her dear friend who was with her, Miss J, and
Mhm.
he supposedly she has recently reached out, but he had been in the hospital for a year and a half at that point.
Ugh, yeah.
She didn't reach out. So I feel like she's just a terrible human, or she comes off as a terrible human, I should say.
Yeah. It doesn't help her publicity at all by being on this show. I feel like she was hoping it might change that perspective, but it definitely did not for me. I would highly recommend people watching it. It's really
Well,
good.
and now she's in Australia with a company, with a ice cream company. I don't know that she cares that much, but if it gets revamped, it would be really interesting because now with social media, you don't need to be a top model. You just need to go on social media, take pictures of yourself and
Right.
daily pictures of yourself in a bathing suit or whatever the case may be. And bam, you're making money.
Yeah.
So I don't know
No,
how they would.
agreed. I mean, there's definitely more ways now to get discovered or to be presenting yourself and, in a on a global way. So, for sure.
I don't think we have top models. Everybody's a model. Anybody who's an influencer now can be a model.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting to see how they try
Right.
with the market, the way the world is now, the influencer thing. I was saying the other day how my cousin went to a gym and took pictures for our family chat. It was beautiful. And when I looked it up, it said for influencers. So I've never, like, in my wildest dreams would I have thought a gym advertised for influencers because you could take all these cool pictures and it looks like you're in South America, but you're in, downtown Charlotte. So I
Telling you,
think
if anybody was trying to do a videotape while I was working out, I would not be happy. I'm like a big old sweaty mess. So
you know,
not my purpose of
someone
going to the gym.
someone out there would love your big sweaty mess and pay for it.
So, moving on to a sadder note, the fact that Savannah Guthrie's mom is still not found, which is really unfortunate. But I'll be honest, I don't think she will be found. I don't know what you think, but I feel bad saying it. But what was shocking to me is that every ransom note came directly to TMZ, which I think is really bizarre, and that there's yet to be proof of life, and it's been over 3 weeks. Like, I think
I
she's a
think
goner.
that I hate to say that if she's not she hasn't passed away, she's deeply traumatized. The only
Mhm.
way she is not deeply traumatized is if she did this to herself and she's on an island somewhere just enjoying life, because
Yeah, maybe.
other than that, I can't imagine what this poor woman has gone through and her kids. I can't imagine my mom having gone through that. I'd be so worried and not
Yeah.
knowing, and it's terrible and it's so bizarre. Why her?
I don't understand why somebody would take her and then not truly follow through on a ransom request direct to the family. Like, I don't understand. Like, it really just doesn't it's very
Maybe she,
bizarre and sad, but I think it's pretty obvious at this point in my mind that they're not gonna find her. Like, I just don't think they're gonna
well,
find her.
I do watch detective shows, and I have for a long
Mhm.
time, so that gives me some expertise, I feel like. But I think I was watching FBI files before anybody, just putting it out there. Maybe she passed away when they took her and they don't have a leverage anymore. So they're trying
Yeah,
to get what they can, because she probably died of a heart attack. Imagine that scary face that, rang the doorbell and she's by herself. I would have
yeah.
fainted probably. So
I think they would have just left her there then at that point. Like, I don't
no,
know.
because they have
Hopefully,
to
it'll all come
continue.
out eventually, so we'll understand the true motivation and everything else, but it's just awful.
But with my FBI background slash research, I feel like she's passed away as well, probably, and that they're just
Mm.
grasping for something. But I always go back to, why her? Nobody deserves to be kidnapped by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, why
But
her?
why not somebody wealthier, or somebody wealthy that isn't on television, that's not going to get national attention? Because nobody's going to care if Schmo who owns some company and makes all this money. Nobody's really going to care as much as somebody that has a daughter on TV.
Personality on TV, yeah, agreed. Yeah, I don't know, it's real the whole thing is just strange and sad, like, I'm certainly not wishing for her to be gone, but it just seems so obvious, and when I was surprised to hear that TMZ was the only place that actually got these ransom note like, it just seemed that's so strange to me,
Maybe
but
somebody from TMZ is involved.
maybe, maybe to get those ratings up. I don't know. It's just bizarre. Well,
Yes.
another thing that I heard this week, which I think is also very strange, is that there was a woman in Florida who ordered an Uber for her and her children to go somewhere. And she left her kids in the Uber for like multiple hours.
Where did she go?
She went to some establishment. They didn't really talk about where she went, but she got out of the car and was like, I'll be back, and like left her kids with this Uber driver for multiple hours. And my question is, at what point, like if I'm this Uber driver, after like 15 minutes, I think I would be calling her to come get your kids. I don't care if you're paying me. I'm not a babysitter. That's just strange to me.
Yeah, but if you're making money, then
Yeah, but that's just I mean, God forbid anything happen to the kids while they're in your car and there's no parental super at what point is it the Uber driver's responsibility to, like, make sure these kids are okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think they were teenagers. I think they were 10 and under.
well, I don't know. I think if I'm
But it is
making money,
Florida.
take them to, well, everything happens in Florida. But if I'm making money off of it, just take it to McDonald's or something.
I don't know. I think that's so strange that some I mean, I've used Uber before as for Jake in particular, like, he's Ubered a couple places, but I can't imagine leaving them under the care of an Uber driver for a period of time. Like, it's
Well,
just
especially what if he's a creeper?
well, exactly. And
And where did she go? But
I don't know,
if
I have to
somebody
Google
leaves
it.
them in a car by themselves when it's 100 degrees outside, how people do. I mean, I don't agree with, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't leave my dog in a car with an Uber driver. So I don't know.
Well,
People are just
did you hear about the
crazy.
lady that abandoned her dog at the airport
Yes,
too?
yes, and I was
People are
reading how
shitty.
she, of course, but they had an air tag, so I think in her mind, she thought, they'll just it'll find its way back to me. But I hope they took the dog away. I know they named it JetBlue and somebody
Well, and I
rescued
think
it.
they definitely fined her and charged her with animal neglect. Well, and I wonder, whoever she was going to visit, she obviously was going to bring her dog originally, and because of whatever issues there were with that, wasn't. So the person on the receiving end, when she showed up without the dog, would you be like, "Where's your dog? Like, I thought you were gonna bring your dog. Like, why what happened to your dog?" And then would she if she confessed, "Oh, well, I just left it at the airport," like, what would you do as a friend? Would you be like, "Oh my god, you're a terrible person. You need to leave."
I
Like,
think
I
people
feel like I would chastise my friend for that.
but I think that people like her probably don't have friends like you.
Any friend.
Because I don't think who in their right mind would do that? So I don't have any friends that are that cuckoo that would just leave their dog
You
and
hope
not have
not.
the proper paperwork. And if you don't have the proper paperwork, you go home and you figure it out.
Yeah,
But
not
I would
her.
never, I
That's
mean,
terrible.
I don't
That's
even like leaving
terrible.
my dog downstairs. Like, come on, everybody, let's go. We're going upstairs. I mean, we're a
Well,
troop.
and you wonder too, like the flight attendants or TSA, I mean, they're probably like, "What am I supposed to now do with this dog? She just left it there." That's
I know.
crazy.
It was a cute dog, though. I mean, at least it looked taken care of, which is more than I can say for some other people who don't take care of their dogs. But I don't understand. I don't understand people in general. So basically, what you're telling me is that one day, if you show up without your dog, to definitely ask questions. If you're
I
telling me you're,
I would definitely ask some questions. I just think I don't know. What I was gonna say is I remember one of Drew's buddies back in college when I was visiting him and we were just dating, but he threw his trash into a bush. And I'm a huge anti-litterer.
oh,
And
me
I was
too.
like, "What are you doing? Get your garbage out of the bush." And he's like, "Well, somebody's gonna pick it up." And I'm like, "There's no trash fairy walking behind your ass to pick up because you're too lazy to throw it away." I'm like, "Grab your garbage and throw it in a garbage can like a
Yeah.
human."
Yeah. No,
But I remember Drew being like, "I can't believe you said that to my friend." And I'm like, "Well, I can't believe your friend is gonna litter like that. That's ridiculous."
I know. I'm an anti-litterer too. And I remember a guy throwing a cigarette out the window and I chased him down in my car. I was
Right?
yelling. I mean, it was traffic and everything, but I was so annoyed that he would just throw out a cigarette. Littering does it for me too. But so does people leaving their dog poop everywhere. So I
Leaving their
guess
dogs out. I know. I know. It's that entitlement of thinking that everybody else is gonna take care of it for me. I don't need to be accountable for any of my stuff. There's other people to do that. And that kind of mentality is just shocking to me. It's
I
just
know
ridiculous.
I got feisty at somebody for speeding down the street the other day. We got into words because she's speeding around the curb. I'm like, there are children and dogs and me in this neighborhood. So you need to slow down. And she was
We used to
yelling at
bang like, when we lived in Chicago, people would drive like bats out of hell through the alley, and that in particular is dangerous because if you swing out of that alley, like, super fast, like, you could easily hit people or kids or dogs or whatever, and I remember banging on the back of the hood of a car or, like, the back of a car because it was going too fast. Like, I'm with you. It's just annoying.
you're just this cute little blonde lady, but all of a sudden it's like, "Urgh, I like
I
that.
know. I
Ooh, I like to
know.
see when the claws come out. You're just so cute." It's like, "Rah."
Something like that. I don't know. So, have you ever considered getting like an Aura ring or any of those devices that kind of monitor your health and sleep and everything else?
I thought you were gonna say something sexual just because I know you. I was like, aura. Well, what am I? Like, what is
I'm
that?
not saying
What does it have to do with like an areola? Like, what are we doing here?
no, no, just like one of those. I think they're called Aura rings. It's a brand. It's like one of the rings that kind of monitors health or anything. Do you
No,
have
I mean,
anything like that?
I have an Apple Watch that it monitors my sleep.
That on there?
If I'm sleeping, yes, but if I'm not, then I don't really want to know the truth, so no. But if I'm sleeping, I'm like, oh yeah, I know I got good sleep. But if I only got 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Not
But
so
I
much.
my heart rate, I do. I have a really low heart rate for whatever reason.
I do too.
Says I'm an athlete, which I know the truth, but as long as my iWatch thinks I'm an athlete, let it believe it. But no.
We've seen your attempted curling videos, so we all know the truth.
So why do you ask? Do you have
Well,
one?
the reason I'm asking is there's a company that just came out with smart underwear. You know, everybody farts, but apparently it's the development of this new monitoring underwear that effectively monitors the type of gas you might emit, how often, to see like if there's any baseline evidence of better eating habits versus other based on your flatulence. Apparently, some researchers at the University of Maryland have
Hmm.
created a discrete, wearable, smart underwear. And it uses electrochemical sensors to objectively track intestinal gas production.
Hi. I mean, do they have nothing better to do?
I think the idea is there really hasn't been any real studies related to farts and why people fart more than
There's probably a
others,
reason for that.
why some are, more smelly than others. And we all tease about, oh, I ate this dairy or I ate hummus and it makes me fart. But what if you actually had a device that could tell you specifically what is causing your flatulence and how much hydrogen production you're making?
I'll be honest, I've never eaten hummus and said, "Oh, that made me fart."
My God. Hummus used to be my trigger. I could just look at hummus or think about buying hummus and I would start farting. My farts have lessened over time. So I now feel like I can narrow down specific things that might cause it. I think a lot of people might be like that, but I don't know. It's just
So
kind of interesting, in the age of smart devices monitoring everything from sleep to, you know, calories to heart rate, etc. Why not measure your farts and have it monitor that gas production?
so I guess my question to you is, have you already bought it?
No, but I need it.
So what about, they I think track cows, because isn't the cow's fart what is creating the ozone layer or killing the ozone layer?
I think there is something about cow flatulence that is definitely ripping a hole in the ozone layer. Although Drew, in and of himself, could create a rift in the ozone layer I think, based on
That
his amount of flatulence.
I
Like,
mean, he
it's
didn't.
weird because his don't smell, but man, he farts all the time. Like, all the
Oh,
time.
so
Yeah.
he did that in front of me once, and I almost like broke the friendship. I was about to say I'm done with this friendship. It was just loud. It was like the house trembled.
Super loud. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was it was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of, like I said, it's just interesting to me with with all these smart devices out there that they now have one to measure flatulence. I think, it could be helpful.
What's the cost of this underwear? Because your birthday's coming up, so you never know.
How does it feel to be a year older?
My back hurt a little more that morning, but I'm grateful to have another year of life and
There
super
you
great.
go.
Especially Eric Dane just passed away of ALS. Well, we've had a couple of
Yeah.
people pass away. Robert Duvall, unfortunately,
Jesse
James Vanderbilt,
Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, Willie Colon,
Mm-hmm.
huge in the salsa world. He's got some amazing music from back in the day. But Eric Dane left a couple, I don't know if you saw videos that he had recorded to be released after he passed. And if you listen to any of them,
No.
it is sad, but it really reminds you to live in the moment because you really don't know. Very
Right. I
grateful.
feel like when you age gracefully, it's like, you've those wrinkles are things you've earned and blood, sweat, and tears, and there's nothing wrong with displaying them,
There's
except when
also
you look
nothing
like a
wrong with,
complete old lady.
well, there's nothing wrong with Botox too. So let's just
Yeah,
clear the
exactly.
Botox is okay. A couple fillers here and there is
Yes.
fine. But there's also nothing wrong with a couple of wrinkles either.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, you look amazing and happy birthday to Miss
Yeah.
Jackie.
Thank you. I feel amazing.
What so was there one thing that if you could wish for your birthday that you would and didn't?
Does world peace count?
No, that's too it's
Too
too
much? Too much of a dream?
basic. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I didn't have any wishes, honestly. I'm just very thankful that I'm loved. I feel so grateful that I'm loved and that I have so many great people around me that was my wish to just have a good birthday. And it was excellent.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Everybody deserves a good day, especially on their birthday. Uh, I don't know. I always feel like your birthday is kind of your day. And even though there's a lot of other people that might share that birthday, you need to spend it the way you enjoy, whether that's sitting on the couch or being by yourself or being with friends or what have you. Like, just take it for yourself. We all deserve a day like that.
Yeah, I agree. So it was a good day. I'm ready to celebrate others now and had some good
Hmm.
meals. So yeah, it was a good thing.
Let's do our sip and sign off. What are you going to do?
I will let you go first, as always.
You always make me go first. Okay. So my sip and sign off is actually going to be about a book that I recently listened to that was really good. It's called The X's and it's by Leodora Darlington. And she's British. And it's a really interesting, lots of twists and tangles about a woman and some of her struggles with her family and with boyfriends as well as boyfriends past. And she's kind of getting through the realization of certain things that may have happened over the years. So it's really good. And you'd like it because everybody's in a British accent. So you can practice your dialect while you're
Yes, because in my
listening to
mind,
it.
I'm British. Yes.
There you go. Yes. You're British. No, you're not British, but you'll enjoy listening to it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
What's the name of it?
It's called The X's. It
Okay.
was part of GMA did like a book club and they recommended it. And that's how I heard about it. But it was really good. It's really good.
Is it really big? It's a lot of pages, a lot of chapters.
No, but I mean, I listen to it. I just do audiobooks. So it kind of goes
I
quickly.
can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a great reader. I read and then I have to reread it because my mind is, thinking
Yeah. I
about.
fall asleep sometimes when I'm reading. But if I can listen to it, I feel like I pay attention longer.
Okay, cool.
So,
So
yeah.
my
So
sip
that's
and
my
sign
sip and
off.
sign off. If you're looking for a good read, I would definitely get it. So, what about you?
Water, by the way, in case everybody's wondering. Trying to get
Mm.
healthy. I actually gave up coffee and switched it
Oh my
with
God.
just
Why?
because I use creamer and it's the sugar in it. And I thought, you know what? On a healthier quest, let me see if I can do it. And it's been 2 weeks, and both Mike and I, we gave up coffee.
Wow. I don't
Only
know if
been
I
two
could give up
weeks.
coffee.
It's been
Hmm.
2 weeks. I'm actually enjoying it. So,
It's really just about having that hot beverage in the morning. I like that.
so I bought a shawarma maker. I don't think that's what it's called.
Shawarma maker.
It looks like a skewer in a metal dish, and you put the chicken or the beef or whatever you want on top, and it's a skewer, and you put it in the oven and you cook it, and it's just when you go somewhere and they cut the meat, like shave it off, like if you go to a Brazilian
Yeah.
steakhouse,
Like a
it's one of
gyro.
and you put the chicken in, and it's delicious, and it keeps your food super moist. You just put it in the oven, and I would highly recommend it. I got it on Amazon, but it just cooks itself, but you've got the juiciest meat. I shave it off and we put it in a pita or a wrap.
Now you're making everybody hungry.
I make my own tzatziki. And so,
The shawarma holder, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like that's one of those kitchen devices that you're like, why do I have this? But then you use it like once a I know you're cooking a lot right now, so I'm sure you're using it quite a bit. But I can see myself if I were to get that, I'd use it once and then I would find it in the back of my cabinet like 3 years later going, "Why do I have this?"
so there are a lot of things in my house that are like that. So I'm not going to disagree with yours. No. And I don't disagree. But with this one, I have a feeling that I might use it more. We shall
Mhm.
see. But I love that I could just stick it in the oven. And it's super juicy, and we can make, different wraps with it.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed you sharing some of your recipes with me. So even though mine don't turn out quite as pretty, but they're good
As long as
nonetheless.
it's good.
All right, on that note,
On that note,
until next
thank you.
time. Thanks for listening. Bye.
If you enjoy this podcast, follow us on Instagram under Broad Speaking Broadly, and we will
See you next Tuesday.